Have you ever woken up, fully awake, and realized you can't move? Your mind is clear, your heart is racing, but your body, it's like it's still dreaming. And then you feel it, that weight on your chest, that presence in the room. Maybe it's a shadow in the corner. Maybe it's something sitting right beside you. You try to scream, but nothing comes out. If this has happened to you, first, I want you to know you're not alone. And it doesn't mean something's wrong with you. For so long, we've been taught to fear this moment, to call it a demon, a glitch, a curse. But what if I told you what many lightworkers, mystics, and healers have quietly known for generations is that sleep paralysis isn't a sign of danger. It's often a sign of awakening. Think of it like this. Your sensitivity is increasing. Your energy field is expanding. And in that delicate space between sleep and waking, the veil gets thin. What you're sensing isn't outside you. It's a reflection of where you're holding tension, where you've given your power away, or where your soul is gently saying, "It's time. Let's come home to your strength." The being you encounter, it's not here to harm you. It's here to mirror you. And once you understand its language, once you meet it not with panic, but with presence, you realize this isn't a haunting. It's a hand reaching out from your own deeper self. So today, let's talk honestly, no fear, no fluff, about the 7 presences people report across the world, not as monsters, but as messengers. And most importantly, how to respond with the tools you already love, your archangels, your sacred geometry, your breath, your knowing. Because you weren't born to shrink in the dark. You were born to remember your light, even there. Before we talk about the presences themselves, let's pause for a moment and ground this in what's actually happening, not just in your body, but in your energy. You know how, when you're deeply empathic or spiritually open, you can sometimes feel overwhelmed in a crowded room, or sense tension in a space before anyone says a word? That's not imagination. That's your sensitivity working, your subtle system picking up what others miss. Sleep paralysis is a bit like that, but in slow motion, in the quiet of night. When you drift into sleep, your body naturally paralyzes your muscles. It's called atonia, a built-in safety feature, so you don't act out your dreams. Most of the time, you wake up after that paralysis lifts. But sometimes, especially when you're stressed, overtired, or going through a spiritual shift, you wake up just before it releases. Your mind is online. Your body is still in sleep mode. And in that gap, your nervous system lights up like a flare. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Your brain is trying to make sense of this strange, vulnerable state, so it reaches for the stories you carry, your beliefs, your culture, your deepest hopes and fears. That's why one person sees a shadow figure, another senses an angel, and someone else feels their grandmother's presence. But from a spiritual perspective, this isn't random noise. Many energy healers and light workers notice a pattern. That pressure on the chest often shows up when we're carrying emotional weight, other people's pain, unspoken truth, or the burden of holding space without refilling our own cup. The feeling of being watched? It can mirror a time when your intuition is strong, but you're hesitating to trust it.
The sense of dread?
Sometimes it's not about danger outside. It's your system saying, something inside needs attention. Dr. Judith Orloff, who's worked with empaths for decades, says sleep paralysis is one of the most common signs that someone's energetic boundaries have softened, especially for those on a path of service, healing, or awakening. And if you're a Life Path 11, you already know how intense this can feel. That master number energy, so attuned to light and shadow, can make these moments especially vivid. Not because you're fragile, but because your antenna is strong. So no, this isn't a sign you're broken. It's a sign your system is talking to you. And when we listen, not with fear, but with curiosity, we start to see this isn't an intrusion. It's an initiation. Now let's turn gently to the presences themselves. The figures, the feelings, the beings that so many have encountered in that still, suspended space between sleep and waking. I want to be clear from the start, these aren't fixed entities like characters in a myth. They're more like archetypes, recurring patterns that show up across cultures, reflecting something real in our inner world. And when we learn their language, not as threats, but as symbols, we begin to see what they're trying to help us remember. The first one many describe is simply a heavy presence, something sitting on the chest, pressing down, making it hard to breathe. You don't always see a face or a form. It's more like a weight, a density, a feeling of being held in place. In Newfoundland, they used to call this the old hag. In parts of the Middle East, it's known as al-kabus, the presser. But spiritually, what this presence often reflects is overwhelm. Not just from the day's stress, but from carrying energy that isn't yours. From saying yes when your soul is whispering no. From holding space for others without tending to your own heart. It's your system saying, it's time to set a boundary. It's time to come back to your center. Then there's the whisperer, the one who doesn't speak in words, but in thoughts that aren't quite your own. A voice that sounds like doubt, like criticism, like the echo of an old wound. Sometimes it even sounds like someone you once knew. This isn't an outside force planting ideas. More often, it's the voice of the inner critic, amplified in that vulnerable state, or ancestral patterns rising to be seen. It's not here to deceive you. It's here to show you where healing is waiting, where you've internalized fear, where you've forgotten your worth, where a kinder voice is ready to take root. Some people meet what feels like a shadow twin, someone who looks almost like them, but distorted, darker, or turned away. This one can be unsettling, but it's deeply sacred. In Jungian wisdom, and in many shamanic traditions, this is the shadow self. The parts of us we've tucked away because we thought they weren't spiritual enough, strong enough, or good enough. Anger, power, desire, grief. This presence isn't here to frighten you. It's knocking gently, saying, I am part of you. Will you welcome me home? Integration doesn't mean becoming the shadow. It means no longer running from it. Then there's the watcher, the one who stands silently in the corner, at the door, or just beyond the bed. No movement, no threat, just witnessing. Many lightworkers and intuitives recognize this as a sign that your awareness is expanding. It might be your higher self, a guide, or even your ancestors, simply observing, not to judge, but to affirm, "We see you, we're with you, you're not alone in this awakening." When you feel this one, try softening instead of resisting. A simple, silent thank you can shift everything. Another presence, less common but deeply meaningful, is the door opener. You might feel a shift in the air, a cool breeze where there is none, or a sudden sense of expansion, as if a door has quietly swung open in the room or in your energy field. This often comes during times of major transition, after a deep release, before a new calling, or when karmic layers are dissolving. It's not random. It's your soul preparing for a wider expression. The universe isn't breaking in, it's making space for more of you to arrive. Some encounter a mirror figure, not a shadow, but a reflection that seems to shift with their own inner state. If you're anxious, it feels chaotic. If you're peaceful, it softens. This one is pure feedback. It's your aura, your energy field, speaking back to you in real time. It's not showing you a being out there. It's showing you what's in here. And that makes it one of the most honest teachers you'll ever meet. And finally, there's the quietest one, the lightless presence. Not menacing, not angry, just empty, a void, a stillness that feels heavier than fear. This one often appears when a lightworker is depleted, when you've given and forgotten to receive, when your cup is empty and your spirit is whispering, "Rest, replenish, remember joy." This isn't a sign of failure. It's a sacred pause button, an invitation to return to simple, nourishing things, laughter, nature, the weight of a blanket, the warmth of tea in your hands. Each of these presences, in their own way, is asking the same question. Will you meet me with fear or with presence? Because the moment you breathe, ground, and remember who you are, the energy shifts. Not because you banished something, but because you remembered. So, what do you do in that moment? When you're awake, aware, and the presence is near. You don't need to fight. You don't need to flee. You simply need to return to the truth that's already within you. The first thing, and it sounds simple, but it changes everything, is to soften your breath. Not force it, not try to control it. Just let it deepen, even slightly. Inhale through your nose for a gentle count of 4. Hold for just a moment. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 6. That's it. One cycle. That single act signals to your nervous system, I am here. I am safe. This is temporary. And in that pause, before any ritual, before any invocation, something shifts. You are no longer at the mercy of the experience. You are meeting it with awareness. From there, you can call on the allies you already know and trust. If Archangel Michael is your protector, and so many of you have felt his steady blue flame presence, just whisper his name, not as a command, but as a reminder. Michael, stand with me. Wrap this space in light. You don't need a long prayer. You don't need perfect words. You just need sincerity. His energy responds to intent, not incantation. If the pressure feels like emotional overload, if your heart feels heavy with the weight of the world, call in Archangel Chamuel. His rose gold light is pure compassion, not just for others, but for you. Imagine that warm light wrapping around your chest, softening the edges, reminding you, it's okay to rest. It's okay to be held. And if what you're sensing is exhaustion, not fear, but deep, soul-level weariness, that's when Archangel Barakiel comes in. He's the angel of divine joy, of blessings restored. In that moment, you can simply think of something that makes you smile. A child's laugh, sunlight on water, the smell of rain, and let that feeling rise, even just for a breath. Joy is not frivolous, it's sacred fuel. And Barakiel meets you there, not to fix you, but to remind you, you are still worthy of delight. You can also work with the sacred geometries you've come to love. Metatron's cube, with its 13 spheres and perfect balance, isn't just a symbol. It's a stabilizing frequency. If you've drawn it, printed it, or held it in your mind, you can place that image gently in your awareness as you breathe. Imagine it spinning slowly above your heart or beneath your pillow, holding a grid of harmony around you. It doesn't force anything out. It simply retunes the field, like a tuning fork for your energy. And if you know your life path number, especially if you're an 11, you already understand how deeply you feel. That sensitivity is your gift, but it needs grounding. So before bed, try this. Stand barefoot on the earth if you can, or simply sit with your hands on your knees, palms up, and breathe in the color red, root energy, for 3 breaths. Red isn't flashy, it's steady. It says, I am here, I am embodied, I am safe in this body, in this time, in this world. None of these are magic tricks, they're reminders, anchoring points that bring you back to what's true. You are not powerless. You are not alone. You carry within you everything you need to meet the moment with grace. And if nothing comes to mind, if you're too deep in the wave to remember a name or a shape, that's okay too. Just place one hand over your heart, feel its rhythm, and whisper, out loud or in your mind, I am here, I am awake, I am held. That is enough, more than enough.
I want to leave you with this, not as a conclusion, but as an invitation. If sleep paralysis has visited you, it's not because you're fragile. It's because you're awake. More awake than your nervous system has caught up to, more sensitive than the world has made space for, more aligned with the unseen than you've yet claimed out loud. These moments aren't interruptions in your spiritual path. They are the path, narrow, tender, and true. The presence at the foot of your bed, it's not here to take anything from you. It's here to remind you of what you already are, a being of light learning to hold your ground, a soul remembering how to speak its truth, not just in the daylight, but in the quiet dark. So the next time it happens, and if it does, don't reach for fear first. Reach for breath. Reach for your name. Reach for the quiet knowing that has carried you this far. You don't need to become stronger. You just need to remember, again and again, that you are strong, not in spite of your sensitivity, but because of it. And if no one's told you lately, thank you for listening to the whispers, for honoring the shifts, for showing up even when it's tender. The world needs your light. Not the polished version, but the real one, the one that flickers sometimes and still chooses to burn. Rest well, breathe deep. You're exactly where you need to be.